Imagine a world where the stars hold secrets older than time itself. A world where ancient whispers tell of beings from beyond, watchers from the sky, shadowy figures beneath the waves, and giants born from forbidden unions. These aren't just fairy tales. They're echoes of something real, something buried deep in the past, waiting to be uncovered. Welcome to a journey through the shadows of history, where myth and mystery collide in a story that spans the globe and reaches back thousands of years. This is the tale of the Book of Enoch, an outlawed text, hidden in desert caves, cherished by a few, and feared by many. It's a story of a man who walked with beings called the Powerful Ones, who vanished into the heavens, and who left behind a record so wild it was banned from the Bible. But this isn't just his story. It's our story, woven into legends from Africa to the Americas, from Greece to the jungles of the Maya. It's about sky people, abductions, and a truth so big it might change how we see ourselves. Why should you care? Because these ancient tales aren't dead. They live on in strange encounters. Like a woman in Ghana, snatched from a beach in 1984, only to return 3 years later with a chilling story of an underwater city and beings called Mami Wata. Or the thousands who vanish every year, even today, without a trace. Are these just coincidences, or clues to something bigger? Something we've forgotten, or something we've been made to forget? Over the next 5 chapters, we'll dive into this mystery. We'll explore the Book of Enoch and its forbidden secrets. We'll chase legends of sky visitors and sea spirits across the world. We'll meet the people who claim they've seen these beings, abductees, returnees, witnesses shunned by society. And we'll ask, what if these stories aren't just myths? What if they're memories of a time when humanity wasn't alone? Stick with me. This isn't just a history lesson, it's a hunt for the truth. A truth that might be closer than you think. Picture this. Thousands of years ago, a man named Enoch lived in a world of sand and secrets. He wasn't a king or warrior. He was a quiet figure, a great-great-great-great-grandson of Adam, the first man in the Bible's story. But Enoch was different. He didn't just live and die like everyone else. One day, he vanished, taken by beings the ancients called the Powerful Ones. And he left behind a book so strange, so wild, that it was hidden away, locked in caves, and banned from the holy texts we know today. This is the start of our journey. The tale of Enoch, the man who walked with the sky people. The Book of Enoch isn't your typical ancient story. It's not about laws or prayers. It's about cosmic adventures, otherworldly visitors, and a truth that feels more like science fiction than scripture. Found in the Qumran caves near the Dead Sea in 1947, it was part of a stash of scrolls hidden by a secretive group called the Essenes. These weren't just random writings. They were treasures, guarded like gold, dating back to around 200 or 300 years before Jesus walked the earth. And the Book of Enoch? It's the star of the show, a tale so bold it scared the people who decided what belonged in the Bible. Legend says a shepherd stumbled on these scrolls by accident, chasing a lost goat. What he found changed history. The Book of Enoch tells us Enoch lived for 365 years. Think about that, over 3 centuries. Then, in the Bible's Genesis, chapter 5, it says something odd. Enoch walked with God, and he was no more, for God took him. Simple, right? But the Book of Enoch spills the real story. That word, God, it's a mistranslation. The original Hebrew says, Elohim, a word that means powerful ones, and it's plural. So, Enoch didn't stroll with one divine being, he walked with many. And then, they took him away. Where did he go? The Book of Enoch says these powerful ones, called watchers, came from the stars. They weren't just spirits, they were physical beings, advanced beyond anything Enoch's people knew. They gave him a year's warning, like a cosmic heads up. Get ready, Enoch, you're leaving. Then, they whisked him off, maybe in a craft, maybe through some kind of portal. He didn't die, he just disappeared. And while he was gone, he saw things, wild, mind-blowing things. The book says he traveled the cosmos, guided by a being named Uriel, who showed him the stars, the planets, and secrets humanity wasn't ready to hear. Uriel wasn't human. He was one of these watchers, a guide from another world. He taught Enoch about the sun, the moon, how they dance around the earth, and how eclipses work. Imagine that. An ancient man, barely out of the Stone Age, learning astronomy from a star being. Enoch tried to write it all down, But he saw it through his own eyes. A flat earth under a dome sky. Still, the details are uncanny. Stuff no one back then should have known. Was he really up there, flying among the stars? Or was it all in his mind, a vision fed to him by these watchers? Either way, it's a story that doesn't fit the tidy little box of ancient religion. But here's where it gets messy. The Book of Enoch doesn't stop with stargazing. It says 200 of these watchers rebelled. They didn't just visit, they stayed. They came down to earth, looked at human women, and decided to make families. The result? Giants, huge, hybrid beings called Nephilim. Genesis chapter 6 hints at this too. The sons of God saw the daughters of men were beautiful, and they took wives. But Enoch goes all in. These weren't angels or myths. They were flesh and blood visitors who changed humanity forever. And the powerful ones weren't happy about it. This wasn't a fairy tale to Enoch's people. It was history, a warning. The Watchers taught humans more than astronomy, farming, metalwork, even makeup. They kick-started civilization, but at a cost. Their giant kids caused chaos, and the powerful ones judged them for it. The book's full of cosmic trials, journeys to other realms, and promises of a savior. It's epic, raw, and way too weird for the priests who later shaped the Bible. So, they buried it, literally and figuratively. Enoch's story is just the beginning. He's the first abductee, the first to peek behind the curtain of our world. But he's not alone. In Chapter 2, The Sea Spirits and the Missing, we'll dive into tales of abductions that echo Enoch's, right up to today. Enoch's journey into the stars was only the beginning. His story of otherworldly contact and cosmic revelation may seem extraordinary, but what if it wasn't unique? What if the same strange beings, or others like them, have been visiting us for thousands of years, not just from the sky, but from the shadows of the sea? For centuries, tales have whispered of strange beings rising from the sea, spirits cloaked in beauty and danger, luring the curious and the unsuspecting into watery realms beyond imagination. These aren't just myths. They may be part of the same ancient pattern. Welcome to Chapter 2, The Sea Spirits and the Missing, where the mystery plunges into the depths and the lines between legend and reality begin to blur. Let's travel to 1984, to a beach in Anlaga, Ghana. A 26-year-old woman strolled along the sand, minding her own business. Then, poof, she was gone. For 3 years, her family searched, prayed, and mourned. No clues, no trace. Until one day, she walked back into her village, alive but changed. Her relatives hugged her, tears streaming, but their joy turned to shock when she told them where she'd been. She hadn't run off or gotten lost. She said she'd been taken, kidnapped from that beach and dragged to a hidden city, underwater. She told her family she'd lived with her captors for 3 years. They forced her to have children, hybrid kids, part human, part something else. And the beings who took her? They weren't people. She called them Mami Wata, sea spirits, beautiful and terrifying, known all along Africa's western coast and even into the Caribbean. Her story sounds crazy, right? Like something out of a movie. But her family swore she wasn't lying. And here's the kicker. She's not the only one with a tale like this. Mami Wata isn't new. For thousands of years, stories of these water beings have rippled through Africa. They're stunning, long hair, glowing skin, voices that lure you in. Sometimes they help fishermen, other times, they drag people under, never to return. Sound familiar? Think of Greek sirens or mermaids from old sailor yarns. But Mami Wata's tale goes darker. They abduct humans, take them to underwater worlds, and sometimes send them back with strange gifts, like sharper minds or secret knowledge. It's a legend so old it predates the name itself, stretching back to a time when myths were memories. And it's not just Africa. Look around the globe. Every culture's got a version. The Greeks had their titans, born from sky gods and humans. The Sumerians wrote of star people mixing with us. Even the Book of Enoch talks about watchers pairing with women, creating giants called Nephilim. Same pattern. Beings from somewhere else, sky, sea, stars, crossing into our world, leaving something behind. But why? And how does a woman from 1984 fit into a story thousands of years old? Now, let's fast forward. Every year, over 500,000 people go missing in the US alone. In 2018, it was 612,846. Most come back or get explained: accidents, crimes, runaways. But about 90,000? They're just gone. No bodies, no leads. And it's not just cities. In America's national parks, thousands vanish, sometimes right in front of others. One minute they're there, mid-conversation or playing ball, the next, they're not. Park rangers don't even keep a public list, it's that unsettling. Are these just flukes? Or echoes of something ancient? Act to Ghana. That woman's story didn't win her fame or friends. It got her stares, whispers, maybe worse. Why tell it? Because it happened, or she believed it did. And she's not alone. People today still claim abductions, by lights in the sky, shapes in the water, things that don't fit our neat little world. Like Enoch, they say they've been taken, shown things, change. And like Enoch, they're ignored or laughed at. But what if they're onto something? What if the Mami Wata, the Watchers, the missing, they're all pieces of the same puzzle? The sea hides more than we know. So does the past. Enoch saw beings from the sky. This woman saw them from the deep. Both came back with stories too big to swallow. In Chapter 3, Giants and the Leap of Civilization, we'll dig into what these visitors left behind, and how they might have shaped us into who we are. Subscribe, and let's keep unraveling this watery, ancient mystery. We've followed Enoch into the sky and a woman from Ghana into the sea, chasing tales of beings who don't belong here. Watchers, Mami Wata, visitors from somewhere else. But what did they leave behind? Welcome to Chapter 3, Giants and the Leap of Civilization. This is where the story gets bigger, literally. It's about monstrous offspring, a world turned upside down, and a sudden spark that lit up humanity like never before. The Book of Enoch doesn't pull punches. It says 200 watchers, those sky people who took Enoch, didn't just visit. They settled in. They looked at human women and thought, why not? They had kids, huge, hulking hybrids called Nephilim. The Bible's Genesis chapter 6 nods to it too. The sons of God came to the daughters of men, and they bore children, the mighty men of old. But Enoch goes further. These weren't just big guys. They were giants, freaks of nature, born from a mix of us and them. And they didn't play nice. These Nephilim were trouble. The book says they ate everything, crops, animals, even people when food ran low. They towered over us, stronger, wilder, a living clash of two worlds. But they weren't the only mark the Watchers left. Before things went bad, these beings taught us stuff, big stuff. Farming, metalwork, how to build tools and weapons. Enoch says they even showed us how to doll up with jewelry and makeup. Sound random? It's not. It's the seed of civilization. Skills that turned wandering tribes into cities overnight. Think about ancient Sumer, in what's now Iraq. Around 6,000 years ago, it just appeared. Out of nowhere, humans went from scratching in the dirt to building streets, banks, laws, even star maps. The Sumerians wrote about sky people, too. 300 of them, stationed in the stars, watching us. Sound familiar? Then there's Egypt with its pyramids, the Maya with their calendars, places where math, astronomy, and engineering popped up like someone flipped a switch. How? The Book of Enoch hints it wasn't us alone. The Watchers gave us a push, a giant leap forward. And it's not just Enoch. Babylon's tales talk of the Apkallu, part human, part aquatic creatures who swam up from the sea to teach us. One of them, Oans, showed humans writing, farming, and building. In Africa, Mami Wata promised sharper minds to those they took. Native American tribes speak of star people dropping knowledge. Everywhere you look, the story's the same. Beings from beyond, sky, sea, stars, hand us the tools to rise. Then, poof, they're gone, or exiled here, like the Watchers, stuck meddling with us. Take the Dogon people in Mali. They knew about the Sirius star system, 3 stars, not one, way before telescopes confirmed it in the 1900s. How? They say fish-like visitors from Sirius C taught them, centuries ago. The Maya tracked planets we didn't spot till modern times. Sumerians mapped the sky like pros. This isn't guesswork, it's precise, advanced stuff, baked into myths we call primitive. Were they geniuses? Or did someone, or something, whisper the answers? But here's the twist. This leap wasn't all rosy. The giants wreaked havoc, and the Watchers' lessons came with a price. Enoch says the powerful ones upstairs judged them, banished some, punished others. The Nephilim? Wiped out, maybe in a flood like Noah's. Yet their echo lingers, in bones too big to explain, in ruins too perfect for Stone Age hands. And in stories every culture swears by. Greek titans, Indian giants, African hybrids, it's like the world's shouting, this happened. So, what's the truth? Were these visitors real, flesh and blood beings who kickstarted us, then messed us up? Famous scientist Carl Sagan thought so. In the 1960s, he said Earth might have been visited 10,000 times by advanced civilizations. He pointed to the Apkallu, suggesting they're not just myths but memories. If he's right, civilization isn't our solo win. It's a gift, or maybe a curse, from outsiders. The Watchers, the Apkallu, the sea spirits, they left us giants and cities, chaos and knowledge. But their story's not over. Next time, in Chapter 4, The Returnees and Their Secrets, we'll meet people who say these beings never left, and what they brought back proves it. Subscribe, and let's dig deeper into this ancient riddle. We've tracked the Watchers from the sky, the Mami Wata from the sea, and the giants they left behind. They sparked our cities, our knowledge, then faded into legend. Or did they? Welcome to Chapter 4, The Returnees and Their Secrets. This is where the ancient mystery crashes into today, through people who say these beings never left. They've been taken, changed, and sent back with stories and gifts that echo the past in ways we can't ignore. Meet Jane, not her real name. In 1992, she was hiking in Oregon when a light swallowed her. She woke up hours later, miles away, with no memory of how she got there. But that night, she started sketching diagrams of stars, machines, things she'd never studied. She says she was taken aboard a craft by tall, glowing figures who showed her the universe. Sound crazy? She's not alone. Thousands claim it. Abductions by beings who don't fit our world. And some come back different. Jane's story mirrors Enoch's, taken by sky people, shown cosmic secrets. But it's not just lights in the sky. Remember the woman from Ghana in 1984? 3 years underwater with Mami Wata, forced to bear hybrid children, then returned. She didn't come back bragging, she was scared, shaken. Her family says she'd hum tunes no one knew, solve math problems she'd never learned. Across the world, returnees tell the same tale. They're snatched, they're changed, they're sent back with something extra, knowledge, skills, a sharper mind. One man I heard about, call him Tom, was taken in the 1970s. He was a mechanic, barely finished high school. After a night he can't explain, he filled notebooks with advanced calculus, stuff professors couldn't crack. He didn't boast about it. He hid it, scared of being called nuts. Another woman, abducted as a teen, came back painting galaxies she'd never seen in books. These aren't fame seekers. They're regular folks, quiet about it, because who'd believe them? But their gifts match the old stories. Enoch learning astronomy, Mami Wata promising higher minds. I was 15, he says. A light pulled me from my bed. I saw beings, tall, not human. They showed me things. How the stars move, how time bends. I've never told anyone till now. It's been 50 years. He's one of dozens who reach out to researchers, whispering secrets they've buried. Why the silence? Because we laugh. We lock them up. We medicate them. Just like that Ghana woman's family worried she'd be shunned. Telling the truth doesn't win you friends. It gets you a padded cell. Enter John Mack, a big-shot Harvard psychologist. In the 90s, the US military asked him to study soldiers and pilots who'd seen UFOs up close. He dug deeper, talking to regular people too, hundreds of them. His verdict? They weren't crazy. They weren't dreaming. Something real happened. Something worth studying. Mack said their stories lined up. Abductions, strange beings, new knowledge. He risked his career to say it, but he wasn't the only one listening. In 2009, the Vatican, yes, the Vatican, held a secret meeting. Pope Benedict called top scholars to ask, what if we're not alone? One guy there, Monsignor Balducci, a Catholic exorcist, backed it up. He'd heard abductees' tales for years. Not demons, he said. Not hallucinations. A different kind of being. Even Carl Sagan, the famous scientist, chimed in back in the 60s. He thought ancient myths, like Babylon's fish teachers or Enoch's watchers, might be real visits, maybe 10,000 of them. The big shots were starting to wonder, are these returnees onto something? Here's the pattern. Enoch returns with cosmic lessons. Mami Wata abductees gain sharp minds. Modern returnees sketch stars they shouldn't know. It's like acquired savant syndrome, when a brain jolt unlocks genius. Doctors study it, people suddenly playing piano or solving physics after a head injury. Returnees say it's no injury, it's a gift from them. A promise kept from ancient deals. But why? What's the point of handing us these secrets, then leaving us to hide them? The returnees carry echoes of Enoch, of Mami Wata, of a time when visitors shaped us. They're proof the story's not dead, it's alive, whispering through the ages. Next time, in Chapter 5, The Banished Book and the Hidden Truth, we'll uncover why this all got buried, and who didn't want us to know. Subscribe, and let's peel back the veil together. We've chased Enoch to the stars, met sea spirits and giants, and heard from returnees who carry ancient secrets. But here's the big question. If these stories are so old, so widespread, why don't we all know them? Welcome to Chapter 5, The Banished Book and the Hidden Truth. This is where we dig into the cover-up, who buried the Book of Enoch, why they did it, and what they couldn't erase from the world's memory. The Book of Enoch isn't in your average Bible. It's an outcast, a rebel text. Found in the Qumran caves in 1947, it was part of a stash hidden by the Essenes, a secretive group from 2,000 years ago. These scrolls, including Enoch, date back to 200 or 300 years before Jesus. They're old, really old. And Enoch's story? It's packed with stuff the Bible barely whispers: sky people, giants, cosmic journeys. Early Christians loved it. Guys like Tertullian and Clement quoted it like gospel. The New Testament's Jude even lifts lines straight from it. So why did it get the boot? Picture this. Around 600 BCE, Jewish leaders were shaping their holy books. Later, Christians did the same, starting in the 200 CE. They had a vision. One God, one story, no funny business. But Enoch? It's a mess of powerful ones, the Elohim, meddling with humans. In Hebrew, Elohim is plural, not singular. Genesis says Enoch walked with them, and they took him. Genesis chapter 6 says their sons hooked up with women, spawning giants. The Sumerians, older still, wrote of 300 sky people watching us from space stations. To the editors, this wasn't one tidy god. It was a crowd of cosmic troublemakers. They couldn't handle it. Monotheism, one god, as alone in the universe, was the rule. Enoch's tale of star beings teaching us farming, metalwork, astronomy? Too many gods. So, they trimmed it. Genesis keeps the bare bones, giants, a flood, but skips the juicy bits. Enoch's book got locked away, left to the Essenes and a few rebels like the Ethiopian church, where it's still scripture today. The rest? Buried in caves, out of sight, out of mind. But here's the catch, they couldn't bury it everywhere. While Judaism and Christianity scrubbed the Watchers, other cultures kept talking. The Greeks had titans, half-god giants born from sky beings. India's myths tell of star people breeding with humans. The Maya carved star teachers into stone. Africa's Mami Wata and Babylon's Apkallu, fish like sages, taught us to build and think. Even the Cherokee and Dogon tribes remember visitors from the Pleiades and Sirius. It's the same story, over and over, like a song the world wouldn't stop singing. Why the blackout in some places, but not others? Power. Control. The Bible's editors wanted a clean slate, no rivals to their God, no hints we're part of a bigger cosmic family. Sumerians didn't care, they wrote of sky people openly. Egypt's pharaohs built pyramids to the stars. The Dogon mapped Sirius Sea before we had telescopes, saying fish beings showed them. These cultures didn't hide it, they celebrated it. But for the West, Enoch's truth was too big, too messy. It threatened the idea we're alone, special, untouched. And the evidence? It's there if you look. Josephus, a Jewish historian from 2,000 years ago, called the giants real history, said their bones were still around in his day. Old tales worldwide back him up, huge skeletons, massive ruins, star maps too perfect for ancient hands. The Book of Enoch says the Watchers' gifts, farming, tools, knowledge, jump-started us. Sumer's cities, Egypt's wonders, the Maya's math, all popped up fast, like someone handed us the playbook. Carl Sagan thought so too. 10,000 visits, he guessed, shaping us from the shadows. But the cover-up left scars. By banning Enoch, they muddled the story, blamed God for floods and chaos the Watchers caused. They hid our roots, our kin in the stars. Yet the whispers survived, in caves, in myths, in returnees who still see them. The Vatican's 2009 meeting, John Mack's research, they're catching up. The truth's too loud to stay buried. They tried to banish Enoch's book, to silence the hidden truth. But it's breaking free, through myths, bones, and voices from today. Next time, in our conclusion, the cosmic puzzle unveiled, we'll tie it all together and ask, what does this mean for us now? Subscribe, and let's lift the veil once and for all. We've walked a wild path together, from Enoch's cosmic ride with the Watchers to sea spirits snatching souls, to giants and cities born from forbidden unions. We've heard returnees whisper secrets and uncovered a banished book that refused to stay silent. Welcome to the end of our journey, the cosmic puzzle unveiled. This isn't just a story of the past, it's a question for us, right now. What does it all mean? And are we ready to face the answer? The pieces fit like this. Thousands of years ago, beings, call them Watchers, Apkallu, Mami Wata, came from the sky, the sea, the stars. They weren't gods or ghosts, they were real, physical, close enough to us to mix, different enough to change everything. They taught us, farming, math, how to map the heavens. They left giants, ruins, and a leap forward we can't explain alone. Enoch saw it. The Dogon, the Maya, the Sumerians, they all remembered. But some buried it, scared of a universe too big, too crowded, for their tidy tales. Yet the truth wouldn't die. It lived in scrolls, in carvings, in voices from Ghana to Oregon. Returnees today echo Enoch. Taken, shown secrets, sent back sharper. 500,000 vanish yearly, some return, some don't. Are these visitors still here, watching, meddling? Carl Sagan bet on it. The Vatican's listening. Science is catching up. This isn't myth, it's memory, a puzzle scattered across time, begging us to solve it. So, what's it mean for us? Maybe we're not alone, never were. Maybe we're part of something huge, a cosmic family we've forgotten. The Book of Enoch, Mami Wata, the missing, they're clues, not fairy tales. They ask us to look up, to listen, to stop laughing at the weird and start wondering. What if the next abductee is you? What if the next leap forward is ours to take? Thanks for joining me. This puzzle's not solved, it's just beginning. Subscribe, share your thoughts, and let's keep chasing the unknown. The stars are waiting.